What is good, friends, and welcome back. I hope you're having a great weekend so far. Yes, we are in New York. We just began the event. Maybe you are almost done with the event. You are part of the first rotation. We are part of the second one. So we just begun, and I thought I would share my thought about this city. As you know, if you played this game long enough, you maybe tried Cairo and played Rome, and those two cities were kind of disappointing or were lacking something. I wasn't impressed personally. On top of it, those two cities were problematic. They were kind of not ready for prime time. So Lilith had to fix a few things in order to make them fully operational. Now, as for New York City, I think that Lilith is up to something. I think they hit the nail on that one, as there's a few points that I want to talk about, and you'll know why. Okay, so first of all, the big thing about New York is it is a huge city. It's symmetrical, meaning that there is not a secret spot or a landscape benefit. It's really an image. It's the same thing from left to right, so there's no trick to it. And Lilith tried to make this equitable or fair for everyone. Okay, no matter where you spawn, you have the exact same amount of roads to reach the fort, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, there are 4 blockhouses, 8 forts, 4 arms factory, and it's the same path to go from the fort to the arms factory. So it's truly equitable for everyone. That was the main goal for Lilith. The second thing that is important is this city have a different way to limit the progress. Instead of being blocked or being landlocked because the safe zone reached the border, now you have airlift limitation or airlift restriction. You can travel everywhere in the city as long as you're willing to drive. New York, this is America, and in America we drive everywhere we go. So they apply this mentality, this mindset in this city, and you can tell, I'm sure that is a North American who designed this city. No, joke aside, the airlift limitation or restriction, how does it work is, now I put the layer on airlift. As you can see, I'm right here, meaning that if my base gets eliminated or smoked, I cannot jump back in. I have to crawl my way from the settlement or the closest launch pad we built right there, right at the border of the restriction. I still have, so I'm gonna save about this distance, right? But I still have to truck my way to my destination right there, which is time consuming. Yes, I know it sucks. Some of you don't agree with that, but between you and me, would you rather be landlocked or have this limitation or this restriction? I'd rather have this. You can still travel everywhere you want as long as you're willing to drive there. Okay? So right now, no limitation or restriction has been removed, meaning that from the get-go, from our settlement, we can travel to the military lab, we can travel to the town, and we could also travel to this town and this fort without any problem. If we go beyond those points, we have to be ready to drive back if we get relocated. Okay? So yes, there will be a lot of driving in New York. I guarantee you that. I've been driving most of the time. I've been driving more than fighting, basically. And when there is some driving, you can get ambushed. You have to be careful. Always make sure you have an eye on your troops while you are on the run or while you are trucking. Otherwise, you may have a bad surprise when you come back from getting a coffee. So that is how it works. Basically, I'm a fan of this. I know some of you don't like it, but you need to find a way to limit the progress. So if you look at the save zone, you can go behind the save zone, you can go in front of the save zone. That is not a problem. And why did Lilith introduce that meta, that restriction is, well, for two reasons. The first one is if you are about to get save zone, it's easier for you, the defender, to repel the invader, as when you get rid of a base, the only way it can come back is by crawling, and this takes time. So you can remove those bases. No more bases will airlift to make your day miserable. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we were under attack today. So S40, they move and they started to attack our land. So we could not airlift. We had to drive there and or watch our friend dying. But it helps, it gives courage or willpower to the enemy, especially if they are weaker than you, to attack you, knowing that you won't ambush them by jumping on top of them. So that promotes fighting, and I'm a big fan of that, right? So Conquest is all about fighting. So a big plus, this is going in a good direction so far. Now, the only thing I wish is to make the area 1, so the outer ring, the outer layer of the donut, more real estate, meaning that more terrain. I know the save zone are quite small, but if we had more land or more real estate in that area, so we have more freedom of movement, maybe enlarge this area a little bit, that would be great. The second thing you need to know is about the rewards. So it is different. Now let me click on this Theater of Conquest menu. So you have your mission, you know about the mission, the commander mission and the alliance mission. So at the very end, you will see some final mission where you capture some strategic places. Let's take, for example, the 5 settlement. The 5 settlement used to be one of the largest mission or one of the best rewarding mission. In this case, you only get 2 ground refined components and 2 Air Force refined components. I think that in any other conquest, it's 5 and 5. Right? So why so little? Best example here, control the Raven statue at the end of the conquest. So this mission and this mission should reward you the same amount of refined components, but the Raven statue, you only get 15 pieces, not 2 full refined components. And this is legendary, the best reward. So never mind the silver, maybe you get 1, I don't know. Why so little is you have a different mission in New York. If you click in Conquest ranking, you have the fighting machine. You know about the fighting machine, right? You have the Alliance repute. Whoever finished in first place farm or obtain the most amount of repute. But in the commander contribution, that is the new thing right here. This you obtain or you gain points by attacking or eliminating reserves and also losing reserves. So it goes both ways. If you go in grade 15, each time you lose a grade 15 reserves, you gain 15 points. When you eliminate the same grade, you gain 30 points, double. So it goes both ways. It's great because it promotes fighting. Whoever goes in a conquest only to farm, you won't get a lot of points. You have to fight and obtain those points. You still receive points for farming. So all in all, and this ranking is inside the conquest, but the final ranking is among all the conquests, among all the alliances, sorry. So if, let's say we finish first in the alliance repute, and I maintain my position, my ranking of 18th place, I will receive 25 more refined component pieces, ground force, and 12 refined component pieces for the Air Force. Some silver coins, some resources, and all that good stuff. Okay, so the reward I think it ends up being the equivalent. I didn't bother to crunch all the numbers, but all in all, regardless of the rewards, I'd rather play New York than Rome or Cairo or even San Francisco. I don't care about the rewards. This is by far the best, one of the best conquest city after Moscow, of course. Besides that, I mean, not much else. There's a few details that I'm not a fan of, like the Raven statue. We are in New York. Why can't we have the Liberty statue? That is a landmark there. We have the Raven statue. There must be a reason for that. It looks like the Liberty statue. Maybe it would be a nice touch if before you capture it, it's the Raven, and then when you capture it, it morphs into the Liberty statue. It would make sense, right? You have the Great Pyramid in Cairo, you have the Town Hall in San Francisco, you have the Kremlin in Moscow. So why this Raven statue? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't change anything to the Conquest, but I mean, New York is New York, right? So might fix that, in my opinion. The last thing I want to talk about is the Conquest skill. So the Conquest skill, not this, those one, not too sure if I understand this fully. I know that when you don't have to activate them, you have to hold on, equip those skills, and when you have many of the same category, you get an additional bonus. So I have to look further down into this matter, but the feedback I receive from other commander is those conquest skills, they don't really make a huge difference. Those tactics, those things like that, yes, they make a difference, but the conquest skills, I don't know, I was not really impressed by that. It's not a selling point for me. But so far, I can say you that I love this city. I love New York. I want to play it again, and we didn't have any problem with the pathfinding or some bugs or glitch in this conquest. Everything is made properly. It's correct for the first time. So thank you, Lilith. I want to keep it real. If it sucks, I will say it sucks. But this time, I mean, they made it right for the first time. So hopefully the conquest after this will be as good or even better. Do you agree? What is your thought about New York? Do you love the city? Does the airlift restriction pisses you off? Would you rather be landlocked instead? So you have to pick one. Which is better for you? Anyhow, I hope you love this video. If you give me a thumbs up, that will help other commanders reach for this content. Stay tuned, there will be more stream on this city. I know you love the streams. And until then, friends, I'll catch you on the next video. See ya.